everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial on this look right here. This is a look for Valentine's Day since it is actually coming up pretty quickly. So as you can see, it's basically pretty plain on the eyes, but then a bold lip, some contour going on, which is what I like to wear for Valentine's Day. Also, I just pierced my nose yesterday, so ignore the fact that there is no makeup around that area. Hopefully it doesn't look too noticeable. And also I dyed my hair, so lots of changes going on. But if you're interested in this look, then please keep watching. The first thing I'm going to be doing is using the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. This is done on a clean face, and I'm just going to put it around where I have pore problems, which is under my eyes and around my nose. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my foundation. This is the Revlon Colorstay Whipped Foundation in the shade Natural Beige, and I'm just using my finger to apply it. I'm just dotting it around my face in the areas that need the most coverage. My nose gets especially red, so I want to concentrate on that area, but avoiding the nose ring. And this is a foundation brush by Real Techniques. I'm just going to use that to buff out my foundation, being sure not to slide it around over my face too much, just kind of patting it and moving in like small strokes. That way your foundation doesn't get patchy. And as you Now I'm going to be trying out the new Shapetape Concealer from Tarte. I have heard everyone talking about this concealer, and I just got it in the mail, so I'm really excited to try it. So this is my first time using it, and I apply it under my eyes in like a sort of like a V shape, so I can cover all the dark circles. And I'm noticing as I'm putting this on that it is extremely full coverage, so I probably applied a little bit too much. But oh well, we're going to roll with it for now. And I'm going to use a damp beauty blender and blend that out under my eye. I really want to achieve that airbrush effect, so I'm not going to be rubbing the beauty blender across my under eyes. I'm just tapping it like so. And I'm also bringing it up onto my eyelid, because instead of using an eye primer, because my eyelids are oily, then I just bring my concealer up, and that can act as an eye primer instead. So as you can see, something I've learned about this concealer is if it's on your face for a while, it can start to dry, and so you want to make sure to get to it right away. Now I'm taking the Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to take a brush by Morphe, and I'm going to set my concealer underneath my eyes. I always set my concealer because it keeps my under eyes from getting cakey, it keeps the concealer from settling in the fine lines, and it also tends to mattify my face, which I like because, like I said, I have normally oily skin, and so anything mattifying I am all about. Now I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit in medium, and I'm going to be using an angled brush by Morphe to do my contour. I'm going to be taking Fawn and Java, which are just two of the shades that originally came in the contour kit. And I'm just going, I make that fish face so that way my cheekbones stick out and I can see exactly where I want to put the contour. So basically I'm just starting in light and then slowly building up the color so I can get the right definition that I'm looking for. This is going to be a little bit of an intense contour because that's what we're going for this look, but you definitely don't have to make it this intense. You can soften it up a little. Now I'm going to be contouring my forehead using Havana and Java, and I use a little bit of a darker contour on my forehead just to blend in my foundation with my hairline because I do have some dark spots at the top of my forehead. And now I'm just bringing it down around my neck because I have a little bit of a double chin. So that's just a trick you can use if you want to kind of conceal that. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is what we while baking. So I'm taking the same translucent powder that I used before and a damp beauty sponge, and I'm just going to carve out a line underneath my contour. And the only thing this is going to do is make that line more defined and sharpen up the contour. Basically, you can use your translucent powder sort of like an eraser, and if you put it over top of an area that you want to erase, basically, then it works like that. So I'm just blending it out a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe away that powder after I darken up the contour just a tad with those same colors. So now that I have that translucent powder under there, then the contour is not going to get too low. But you want to make sure your contour doesn't get too low, because then it can start to make your face droop more instead of define your cheekbones like you want. Now I'm just going over everything with the damp beauty sponge just to blend everything together so it blends in with my foundation and doesn't look too muddy. Now on to my eyes. I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, one of my favorite palettes, and I'm going to take the E40 Sigma brush, just a big fat blending brush will do, and I'm going to use that white chocolate shade, and I'm just going to cover my whole lid. This basically sets that concealer so then when you go to apply the shadow, it's not sticky and it can blend more easily. And I'm going to take this shade Salted Caramel, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in my crease. We're going with a pretty simple eye look today, so there's not going to be a lot of shades that I'm going to be using. I just want to make them a little bit more defined. The next thing I'm going to do is take a L'Oreal eyeshadow in Amber Rush, and this is one of, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's basically a shimmer eyeshadow. And I'm just apply it with my finger because you seem to get the most intensity, and if you apply it with a brush, it tends to break apart and the fallout gets pretty bad. So I'm just applying this with my finger on the lid of my eye, all over the lid. And I'm not making it too intense because, like I said, we're going for a more subtle look, but I just thought that it needed a pop of something. So I'm just going to put that all over my lid. The next thing I'm going to do is go back in that Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette and take the Salted Caramel, and I'm just going to blend everything together so there aren't any harsh lines from that Amber Rush color, and I'm just going to darken up my crease a little bit more. Okay, now on to eyeliner. I'm using the Kat Von D eyeliner in Trooper. This is my favorite eyeliner. It's a pen eyeliner, and I find it really easy to use because it's a felt tip, and so you can really get the definition that you're looking for, and you can make a really sharp wing. So I'm doing kind of a more intense wing for this eye look because the eyeshadow is so natural. I just want an intense eyeliner and intense lips. So as I've done in previous videos, I'm only taking the eyeliner into the outer third of my lid, and that's because I have hooded eyes, and I don't want to bring it all the way in and cover up the rest of that shadow that I have. It helps to keep your eyes open. So now I'm just doing the other side, trying to make them even. The next thing I'm going to do, because I'm not bringing the eyeliner all the way in, I want to blend out the edges. So I'm using that dark fudge shade in the Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm just going over this with a little definer brush. I just want to make sure that you don't see an abrupt stop in the eyeliner and that it all blends together nicely. The next thing I'm going to do is fill in my brows using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Chocolate. I just had to change over colors because I dyed my hair and I realized that the spoolie on this is broke. So, because I don't have another spoolie at the moment, I'm combing through my brows with my finger. What a great method. So the first thing I do to fill in my brows is draw out the tail the way that I want it, and I start with the bottom part of my brow, as you can see me doing right there, and I'm just using little flicking motions to try to get it to look like real hair follicles, and I'm starting at the bottom and then slowly filling them in. The brows are going to be a little bit more intense than normal for this look. You don't have to go this intense. I'm just filling in the inner corner. A way to make this not so intense is to use a lighter shade on the inner corner, and that'll really soften up the brows, but for this look we're just all doing one color. And then I'm just using my finger to sort of blend it out, although normally you would use a spoolie for this step. Next thing I'm going to do is take the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just going to put on a light coat of mascara over my top eyelashes. Don't worry too much about this step because I'm going to go in with false lashes. I just want to make sure that they blend in with the lashes when I apply them. Alright, now I'm going to use Ardell Glamour lashes and the Duo Adhesive, and voila, they are applied. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take that same Salted Caramel shade that we've been using, and I'm just going to complete the lower lash line by dragging it under. This is with the E30 pencil brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color on my bottom lash line, not too much. I just want to blend everything together so it doesn't look unfinished. I'm just going to apply the same mascara on my lower lashes. You can skip this step. I just think my lower lashes look weird without mascara. Now I'm going to take MAC Warm Soul and finish up the face. This is just a buffing brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going to put that all over my cheekbones. And then of course we have to have a highlight to finish off the look. I'm going back into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette, and I am using the shade Sand, which is the only shimmer shade in the palette. And I'm taking this highlighting brush from Morphe, and I'm just applying it on my cheekbones. I'm not making it too intense, more of like a subtle glow. And then I'm going to just put a little bit on my nose. If you have a really oily nose, then you might want to skip this step. I just like how it looks. And I'm just going back into that chocolate bar palette, and I'm taking the highlight Champagne Truffle, and I'm going to put that on my Cupid's bow as well as my inner corner highlight. And for a final step, I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in Sarafine. It's a really pretty sort of red-orange color, and I'm just going to apply that to my lips. I really like their formula for liquid lipsticks. They can tend to be slightly drying, but it doesn't really bother me. They definitely stay on all day, and they don't get patchy, and they don't flake off like some of the other liquid lipsticks do. And another good thing about this lipstick is you only need one coat. Alright, So that completes this look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you like it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And everyone have a happy Valentine's Day. See you next time.